If you don't know how to motivate your sales team, they're not going to make sales. Motivating your sales team is one of the most important things, and in this video, we're going to talk exactly how to get your team motivated and making sales. Now, over the last 5 years, we've trained thousands of coaches, consultants to make more of their own sales. We've built some of the top sales teams in the coaching and consulting industry, 7, 8, even 9-figure businesses. And we are going to give you some content today that's going to help you get your sales team motivated. Now, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe so you get the notification from the little bell in the corner. Like this video if you find the content useful, and of course, comment below this video with any thoughts or questions that you've got about this content. So when it comes to onboarding a salesperson, you want to build that belief by making sure that that salesperson understands some of your client stories. Now, you may have and should have in part of your marketing a page full of testimonials, all the case studies and stories, quotes, videos. The more the merrier, right? The more that you've got, the better prepared that someone's going to be when they get on the sales call, because they're going to have an idea. They will have seen the types of people that you've helped, and the more of those there are, the more that they can see themselves in those stories. And if they can see themselves in those stories, they're much more likely to buy. So your salesperson needs to really understand those testimonials. And one of the worst things that you can do is train a salesperson to read testimonials verbatim on a sales call. I've seen business owners train their salespeople to do that as part of the sales call, and it rarely works because it feels contrived. What you want to do is you want to help that salesperson know those stories by heart. You want to get them to tell you those stories in their own words. And it doesn't matter if they have every detail perfect. What matters is that they get the essence of the story, that what they're saying is honest, true representation of what that client went through and the results that they got. But if they can tell that story in their own words, then that actually becomes a part of who they are as a person. And when they're on the sales call, they're going to be able to share those stories. Because part of what makes a salesperson successful is being able to really relate to the prospect that they're talking to, and to be able to tell a story to that person that is actually going to resonate with them. Right? And so if the salesperson can hear their story as they're uncovering the problem and they're understanding the cost and the consequences of what happens if the prospect stays stuck and doesn't get the result that they've been trying to get, if they understand that, and then they can think back in their own mind to a story that they remember of a client you worked with who was similar to the person that they're talking to, and they can share how that prospect, how that person became a client, maybe had some of the same fears that the prospect they're talking to has right now, but they moved past those fears, they became a client, and here are the things that happened step by step, and this is where they are now. If they can share that story in their own words, then it's going to be much more believable to the prospect. But more than that, they're going to have that belief in their own right. And when it comes to making sales, if you want your sales team to be motivated, then you really need to help them believe in your offer. Nothing is more demotivating than getting on the phone every day selling something you don't believe in. And not only will a salesperson very quickly stop making sales if their belief in you and your offer and your business drops, but they're also going to burn out very quickly, because there are some salespeople who can just lie through their teeth. Those are probably not the people that you want to hire. In fact, not only are they, often going to burn out, they're oftentimes going to bring people in that you then need to refund later. They're going to be pushy on the phone. They're going to make mistakes. So we want to motivate them to be the best version of themselves they can be, and the best version of themselves they can be is somebody who believes in your product, in your service, in you as a business owner wholeheartedly, and can stand in their power in total conviction and be able to talk about why that prospect is going to be successful working with you. So that all kind of comes in part from the onboarding, but you want to continue that through as long as you've got a salesperson working with you. And in fact, one of the best things that you can do at your regular meetings with your sales team is to share recent client successes. And and then not only share those successes so that they get to hear the stories, but even better when you can relate those successes to somebody that they enrolled into your offer, into your program. If they enrolled somebody into your group program, into your coaching offer, and a month later that person is just crushing it and they're getting results left and right, you want to make sure to share that story back with that salesperson. And you also want to, again, on a regular basis, quiz them about what stories they're sharing on the sales calls, and make sure they've got the facts, right. As I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but that they're getting the general essence of the story, and that they are able to, on a regular basis, take in more stories of client successes and be able to share those. Because the more that they can relate specific stories to the prospect they're talking to, the more successful that they're going to be, the more motivated they're going to be, because they have conviction in your offer. And having conviction in your offer, in a large part, comes from them seeing that you care about them, that you're actually showing care and concern for them. And I think the best way that I can illustrate this is I recently had lunch with a salesperson who had been on a team, in fact, was a top seller for one of the teams that we had worked with for years, and she had left. And I happened to be actually in Mexico, and she was down there as well. And I said, hey, you know what, we have lunch. So we had lunch, and I was just curious, what happened? Why did you end up leaving that offer? And what she shared with me was quite surprising. She left because she didn't feel that the business owner actually cared. She was going through some tough stuff in her life. She started to have a little bit of a problem with her closing rate because she was going through some tough stuff in her life. And rather than reaching out and asking, hey, what's going on? You've been our top seller, and we've noticed your close rate's down. You haven't been as good about your administrative stuff. They went straight to, hey, your close rate's down. If you don't get it back up, you're off the team. And that was like a very quick turn. And while, hey, numbers matter, and we don't want to keep salespeople that aren't selling, when you've had somebody that's successfully been selling and they stop, usually there's a sign of something going on. And what happened, as she told me more of the story, was it wasn't so much even just that the stuff was going on in her life. It was that the stuff was going on in her life. The business owner didn't show any care or concern for what was going on. And then because she felt like the business owner didn't care, she felt very alone, and she kind of started to lose belief in the offer, because she thought, if they don't care about me, then do they care about the clients that they're serving? And so she started to have a lot of doubts. And so even as things got better and things in her life were starting to get better, before she finally did leave, her sales rate just kept going down and down and down. And it was because even though things were getting better in her life, she didn't believe the business owner cared about her. And so it's just one of those things that it's really important that if you're going to grow a sales team, and especially in the coaching consulting niche where you have a client business, where you're serving clients, and you have a salesperson whose job it is to listen to the client, to hear the client, to find out their story, and then to show them that, hey, this business owner, this coach is going to get you the result, and they care, if they don't feel like you care about them. So really, really important. And so those are some of the belief and some of the things that you can do as part of your onboarding and your ongoing training and support with your teams to make sure that you're motivating your sales team, right? Make sure you onboard them properly. Make sure they understand the product. Make sure they understand and can tell the stories and testimonials so that they build belief, and make sure that you're showing them that they care. The other thing that's really important for motivating sales teams is numbers, right? They want to hit their numbers. They want to set goals, and they want to achieve those goals. They want to blow those goals out of the water. But one of the things that a lot of business owners don't do is keep good numbers on their sales team. They don't actually track what their team is doing. So you want to make sure and set really clear expectations with your team around tracking. And with our clients, we have an after-call report that any of their salespeople fill out after every single call. It gives the business owner all the data that they need on the call. And in one of our other videos, we'll talk a little bit about KPI for sales and how exactly you should track and what you want to track. But what I want to say here about this when it comes to motivating your sales team is set clear expectations and hold your team to those expectations. Because especially if you've got a coaching company and you're coaching clients, one of the things that clients often need is accountability. They need clear expectations set, and they need to know that they need to follow those expectations if they want to get the result. if you're not setting clear expectations with your sales team and you're not holding your sales team to those expectations, right? Filling out their after call report, tracking their numbers, putting down detailed notes so that we can go back and review, then the sales team is going to, again, lose that belief because they don't feel you're setting clear expectations for them. They don't feel you're holding them accountable. Why would you be doing that with your clients in your coaching business? So setting clear expectations. And the final one, and this to me is a really important one as well, and a lot of people skip over it, is when a salesperson comes onto a team that is already in momentum, it is far easier for them to get that belief in the ability to hit the goals that we're setting for them, right? If we want them to be closing at a 40% close rate, and we want them to be closing 20 sales a month, and if their commission's $1,000, that means they can make $20,000 a month, then we need to bring them onto a team that's already in momentum. And if you're a business owner that's just building a sales team, and this is your first salesperson, then it's even more important that you are staying on the phones and that you have the sales process down. Don't think that bringing on a salesperson is going to replace your lack of sales ability. While you can eventually generate salespeople who can sell better than you, they need to come onto a team where they're already being sales being made on the regular. So it's really important that you bring them on in momentum, and that means you need to have control of your sales process. You need to be able to lead as a salesperson and close as a salesperson, or to have someone on your team that is. And so your first salesperson, that's going to need to be you or a business partner, somebody in the business that is responsible for driving revenue, driving results. If a salesperson comes into that, they're going to be in momentum. Or if you've got a team and and they're not closing at the level that you want, then let's go back to some of those things that we talked about earlier in this video and figure out where we've maybe had some missteps. Ask your team questions. Do they have belief, right? Do they believe in the offer? Do they feel confident that this type of prospect or that type of prospect is going to get results? And I guess what I'm saying here more than anything is converse with your team. Show that you care, talk to them, understand where they're at, understand what's going on in their personal life. If sales are down, then yes, work with them on the sales training. Bring in a team like us to help them, coach them through the sales process and help them get better. But also find out what's going on in their life. What's changed? If they were selling and now they're not, something's changed. What was it? Did their belief in you or the offer change? Is there something going on at home, right? If it's something going on at home and you don't address it, then their belief in you and the offer will eventually change. So all of these things matter. So I can't stress enough, onboard them right, make sure they understand the product, make sure that they've got belief and understand testimonials and can tell those stories just as well as you. Show them that you care, set clear expectations for their administrative and the tracking, and always make sure that there's someone on your team in momentum. And if that needs to be you, then step in, make sales, and lead the team. Those are the real keys to success. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe with a little notification bell in the corner. Of course, like this video if you found it useful, and make sure to share this with somebody that you think could use it. And if you would like more training and more support like this, join our free Facebook group by clicking the link in the description box below this video.